This is Omni Sports Breakfast. Sports with Kevin McCollum and MKT.
Get on the air and join Africa's biggest omni-sport conversation right now. WhatsApp us +27 788 777716.
The Springboks are playing Scotland this weekend in the first of three major test matches in the Autumn Nation Series. Iconic Springbok loose forward Duane Vermeulen, who is now an assistant coach in the box setup, spoke about the transition he's undergone from player to coach.
Yeah, the transition has actually been interesting. I actually thought it would have been a whole different thing, being a little bit closer still to the players and more difficult to start in with the coaches. But it's been we're actually completely the other way around. It was fantastic welcoming by the coaches and the coaching staff, and I started in quite quickly, and you learn quite a lot and you learn quickly. But also then, you're not a player, but you still know the players. But yeah, I'm really enjoying my time. Learning on the trot, learning every game, and it's been a year since retirement, and in the mix with the Springboks, and yeah, I love every minute of it, and hopefully you can keep growing as a young coach going into the game and looking further ahead into the future.
I mean, I can't think of a better guy to be around the Springboks setup.
But is everyone in transition? He's transitioning to be a coach. The team's in transition to become a better team. When do teams transition to become crap teams? When does a team become complete? When does the team reach its end point? Everything's always in transition. I'm getting a bit annoyed with the word development, and we're still a team in formation.
Yeah.
It's getting on my nerves at the moment. You're a team. You play on the moment.
Sure.
That's what you do.
Yeah. Well, Duane Vermeulen was also asked exactly that question about because the Scotland coach Gregor Townsend, he said their playing philosophy, the Springboks, is transitioning, and and he said it's a change in philosophy which the Boks might be taking on with the new coaching staff.
Maybe in a sense, if you look at the game, how we changed. Obviously, Scotland changed also quite a bit. So. We got in different coaches. We got in Tony Brown. We got in Jerry Flannery. Brings a different flavour to the game, and they both bring their own attributes to the squad and their own strengths. So I think we're also developing as a team, and it's not always the same picture that you will get from the past couple of seasons. So we're also in a bit of a transition, and I think it's the same with the Scottish team. If you look back, if you look at a Scotland team, they always tend to run the ball, and I'm not saying they're not doing that, but the tactical game has been a bit of a focus for them, and I think that's the thing they really worked on, and they're doing it well. So everyone's striving to get the complete game, and if you get the right guys in, and hopefully you can succeed.
There you have it. Developing, transitioning. He said all of your key words there.
Yeah. The key attribute to professional sportsmen is adaptability. And you adapt to conditions, you adapt to the other team, you adapt to new coaches. And if you're not adapting, then you're a player who's stubborn and doesn't see himself as a professional.
Tell me this, though. Rugby is a bit unique, is that it doesn't really have club rugby. Like, as much as people watch URC, like we all know, you're just filling the time until we watch test match rugby. It's the opposite of football, right? In football, like, international football's a nightmare. Can we just have the club stuff? Rugby only is important every 4 years. So I would imagine they use these terms a lot. And maybe I'm wrong. I mean, some people, as you say, love to live in the moment. 07, 88, 77, 7716. I think it's a really interesting thing that you said there, because as far as I'm concerned, I would not give a crap if the Springboks lost 50 test matches, but then got to the William Webb Ellis and won. I would genuinely take that. I mean, it would obviously be annoying because, being in South Africa, the Springboks have a different context. It's a challenging time to live in South Africa. I mean, it's just a challenging country to live in. So the Springboks provide hope. But I feel like just win the William Webb Ellis. I really don't care what happens in between.
Yeah, I mean, South Africa was very far away from being the favourite for the 2019 World Cup. We came in there cold. Rassie Erasmus was basically shoehorning people into positions, trying to get things right, getting systems right, trying to create belief. And he did that through making Siya Kolisi captain. But we didn't go in there like we were going to win it. We went in there like we were going to maybe make the final at a push, maybe semi-finals, maybe the bronze medal. And every game they just grew in confidence. So yeah, the World Cup is the biggest thing in world rugby. There's no doubt. It's the pinnacle. But then the Rugby Championship's important. Beating the All Blacks is important.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, that's what I love about sport. We all have that differing view, and it matters. I heard a great saying about sport, is that of all the things that matter the least, football matters the most, and then obviously you might say rugby and all of these things, and I couldn't agree more. Right, with Scotland hammering Fiji last week and the Glasgow Warriors being defending URC champions, Duane was also asked if this Scotland team was better than the one that the Boks faced in France last year at the World Cup.
Well, possibly. I can't tell you that. Only Sunday will tell. But they're definitely going to be up for it. It's a home match, and it's home ground in front of their people. It's not playing in a neutral stadium. So obviously you would like to be up for it when you play at home, and you've got that pride within you. So obviously there's a couple of guys that got brought into the squad, and they've been playing well. And obviously at their franchise level, if you look back at last year's champions, it's Glasgow. So they're definitely doing something right over here in Scotland, and we need to be wary of what we're going to get on Sunday.
They're going to hammer them.
I hope they are. I don't know if they will, but it'll be closer than we think. But I don't know if they'll hammer them on a Sunday. It's a strange time to play rugby. It's probably the first Springbok test I can remember on a Sunday for many, many years, if at all. Because there used to be a thing in South Africa that you weren't even allowed to dance on a Sunday, never mind watch TV and play sport.
Yeah, all right. Up in Scotland, hey, who knows? Maybe Scotland are transitioning and developing, as Kevin loves to hear them say. But a story that I've loved, I mean, the Nortje, again, here's another family coming to the forefront, right? There's another Nortje now in the side. Due to injuries, Bulls like Ruan Nortje is now the man at the very forefront of the Boks second row, and he spoke about what it means to him to have the opportunity to play in the green and gold.
Yeah, no, obviously South Africa is a place where locks are breed, so I always know it's a tough position to be in, but look, that's an awesome challenge, and it's obviously something I've been dreaming of since a boy. And in my wildest dreams, I wouldn't even thought I would be here where I am today. But that just shows you the hard work can pay off. And yeah, I'm just privileged to be where I am, and I was just blessed with opportunities to be in this position. And yeah, for me, it's all about every opportunity I have to wear the Springbok jersey. I have to wear it as if it's my last time, because we know there's so much quality players, and then any time can be your last time. So I think for me it's just embracing each opportunity I have, and yeah, just all about representing my country and enjoying representing them.
It's what you want to hear.
Yeah. There's a thing about Springboks that they hedge their bets at a press conference, because the first words out of their mouth are "yeah, no," and then obviously, or "yeah, no, definitely," as Bucky's Bertie used to say. So they're hedging their bets, and they need some media training. But as he said, South Africa is where blocks are bred. We are just a breeding ground. There was a guy called Jed Thine, a New Zealand rugby commentator, used to call us the meat eaters because we're so big. Yeah. And we just eat meat. That's it.
The Aussies, Kernsey and them, where before rugby commentary went to the toilet because they went all politically correct, they used to go, Bournemouth meat was cheap in Africa. And I remember we just used to have like Richard Bands and just like massive props, and then like Victor Matfield and Bucky's. I love it. We keep producing him. Some quick news though. Breaking news. According to multiple reports, top international rugby players could sign huge deals to play in what is being described as rugby's version of the IPL in the USA in 2026. South Africa's leading rugby agents have signed contracts with the unnamed organisers as talks ramp up. Problems here, but I've always thought, kind of like Live Golf, I've always seen a gap in rugby. I think rugby players are the most underpaid sportsmen in the world. It is such a brutal sport. You look at what the NFL guys get paid. Now, obviously, NFL, it's a whole different thing. It's got a 300 million sort of capacity in terms of viewership, 300 million people in America. But rugby players are grossly underpaid for what they do. I guess the market forces are what they are. But I've seen this gap coming for a long time. I think if the Americans get a hold of rugby, I can, correct, finally pay the players properly. Yeah. I'd love this.
Let's see if they have the money. That is the biggest issue for me. We had this situation in 95. We forgot rugby was amateur until 94, 95 after the Rugby World Cup, whenever they announced it. So instead of little brown envelopes, but the guys are getting paid under their doors, everyone was getting paid on the side. I mean, Louis Late was infamous for paying the guys cash to play games. Or they got jobs somewhere, they did something. And whenever that amateur ethos went and professional came in, then the Australians came in, and there was going to be the World Rugby Championship, which was going to be backed by Kerry Packer. Ross Turnbull was the guy who was going to be in charge of it. They'd approached Springboks. There were most of the Springboks from 95 had signed contracts. They were all in safes. The only person who didn't sign, apparently, was Chester Williams, and they were going to pay them big money, and that's why they had to come in. And most of the Springboks were getting paid 900,000 rand a season then. So there's big money then, but that money's now gone down as there's more and more players.
Yeah, no, it's true that the pot has more fingers in the cookie jar. Well said. Francois Pienaar, by the way, first professional rugby player to ever sign, rumored to have signed that in London. Quite a story if you've read about that. So quite something there. Oh my God, could we have the IPL version of rugby? I would love it because I cannot stand World Rugby. I cannot stand Bill Beaumont. I cannot stand these bloody guys in ties, these nerds in bloody London somewhere, trying to ruin this great game. So, oh my goodness, if the Americans get them dollars in the pockets of players, I would love it. I would absolutely.
Listen live and on demand.
Welcome to Omni Sport.